Hello fellow Bears fans, and welcome to my 2014 Bears video blog. Week 2, Bears at 49ers game recap. We needed a big win in this game, and we got it. Although it wasn't pretty, and we didn't put up a lot of yards, and it wasn't a flashy offensive day at all. We got the job done. All that matters at the end of the day is a W in the column, and we got that. Started off a little slow, the 3 and out hurt us. Especially considering we got a penalty on the kick return that started 10, got the 3 and out, they got the block punt. Our defense played well considering, the 2 touchdowns that San Francisco got was one on the block punt where they started first and goal. The other touchdown they got was when we were punting out of the back of the end zone, they started on our 30. They only had 30 yards to drive for the score. Other than that, we just held them to 2 field goals, and the defense held the running game in check. We held Gore to 60-some, we held Kaepernick to 60-some, and really 129 yards with a mobile quarterback like Kaepernick and a running back like Frank Gore. I can live with 120 yards rushing. Let's look at some of the stats here in this game. First downs, tied 19-19 in that category. Third down efficiency, we were 3 and 9, they were 7 and 13. Fourth down efficiency, we were 0 for 0, they were 1 for 2. Total plays, they ran 65 to our 52. Total yards, they had 361 to our 216. Yards per play, they had 5.6 to our 4.2. Total drives, 11. Passing, 232 for them, 170 for us. Rushing, 129 for them, 46 for us. Not a good day on the ground for us. Not really a good day offensively. They knew that Jeffrey and Marshall were coming in banged up, so they knew we were going to try to lean on Forte and Martellus Bennett, and they locked down on those two. But luckily, even injured, Brandon Marshall did step up in this game, and I'll get to that here in just a minute. Penalties were a big one in this one. We had 10 penalties for 58 yards. They had 16 penalties for 118. Big reason we won this game, though, and then you're going to win more games this way than any other way. We won the turnover battle 4-0. Jared Allen caused the fumble against Colin Kaepernick, and we picked off, and our defensive backs picked off Kaepernick 3 times. Possession time, they had 33-51 to our 26-59. Take a look at the individual stats. Jay Cutler, 23 of 34 for 176 yards, 5.2 average, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, with a 119.2 rating. Colin Kaepernick, 21 of 34 for 248, 1 touchdown, 3 picks for a 57 rating. Rushing ball, Jay Cutler, 5 for 25 with a long of 25. That he had the big run on third down. The big 25-yard run got us the first down. It was a beautiful run by him. Nobody open, but a wide-open middle. He grabbed it, tucked it away, and took off. Matt Forte only managed 21 yards on 12 rushes for a 1.8 average. Their side of the ball, Colin Kaepernick, 9 carries for 66 yards and a long of 53. He is a read option quarterback. He ran it well. There were a couple times that our defensive backs did go against my key to the game on defense and get out of their gaps, missed assignments. Didn't stay home. That happens, unfortunately, but they were able to get some big yards off that because he had a long of 15. Frank Gore, 13 carries for 63 yards and a touchdown with a long of 19. Really, with the 2 of their rushers having a long of 15 and a long of 19, we did a lot better in that department than we did against the Bills, where they had 2 runs of 30+. Move over to the receiving side of the ball. Brandon Marshall, great game, even though he's playing on that banged-up ankle. 5 receptions, 48 yards, 3 touchdowns. Alshon Jeffrey, you could tell in this game that Jeffrey was really favoring that hamstring. He just didn't want to trust it. He wasn't running full speed. He still managed 3 receptions for 47 yards on 6 targets. Martellus Bennett, 7 receptions for 37 yards and a touchdown. Santonio Holmes added 2 receptions for 20 yards. Matt Forte added 5 for 15, and Dante Rosario got in the mix with 1 for 9. On their side of the ball, Crabtree had a pretty solid game, 7 receptions, 82 yards, and a touchdown. Carrier, 3 receptions, 41 yards. Vernon Davis, before leaving injured, had 3 receptions for 39 yards. Bolden, 2 for 34. Stevie Johnson, 2 for 26. Frank Gore, 2 for 12. McDonald, 1 for 9. Hyde, 1 for 5. Moving over to the defensive side of the ball, and this is really where we dominated the game here. You had leading us in tackles, Ryan Mundy and Kyle Fuller, each with 7 apiece. Lance Briggs chimed in with 6. Willie Young, 4. Charles Tillman, before getting injured, 4. Bostic, 4. Shea McClellan, 3. Jared Allen, 3. Danny McCray, 3. Tim Jennings, 3. Jeremiah Ratliff, 2. Sherrick McManus, 2. I can go on and on down the whole list, but I won't. Their leading tackler was Patrick Willis, which usually that's the way it is week in, week out for them. 8 total tackles. Culliver added 5. Antoine Bethea added 5. Move over to interceptions. And Kyle Fuller, rookie, got him in the first round. A lot of people thought that he would be a top 10 pick had it not been for injuries, and he just showed why it had not been for injuries he sustained in college, that he would have been a top 10 pick. He probably still deserved it. He showed today that he's worthy of the NFL and worthy of a first-round pick. 2 interceptions, both key interceptions, come out in the second half, and San Francisco up 17-7. Drives down, takes a 9-minute drive, gets a field goal to go up 20-7. That takes 9 minutes away from us in the 30-minute second half. That kind of looked like it might hurt us and might be the dagger that they needed, taking that time off. However, we started a drive with the final 6 minutes, third quarter, finished it in the fourth quarter with a touchdown. First play from scrimmage for San Francisco in the fourth quarter. Kyle Fuller with an excellent pick, just took it right away from Crabtree on that play. Jay Cutler drives it in, gets the touchdown. Very next drive, San Francisco started to put a little bit of drive together. They were getting down into toward our territory, and Kyle Fuller just made yet another excellent interception. That allowed us, the first interception allowed us to go down and take the lead. The second interception allowed us to come down and make it an 8-point lead. Chris Conte also added a interception, and after the year that he had last year, all the criticism, all the scrutiny he was getting, well-deserved criticism, well-deserved scrutiny. He blew a lot of coverages last year on both runs and passes. He even blew a couple coverages on runs and missed tackles against the Bills in Week 1. Made an excellent diving interception, puts him at 2 interceptions for the year. Unfortunately, on that interception, it looked like he hurt he left with a shoulder injury, and I didn't see him after that interception, so I'm thinking that might be where his shoulder injury came. So hopefully he's not banged up too bad, but even when he was out, our secondary still played well, still shut him down. So we're going to move on now to my Monster Midway segment, where I do a Monster Midway, which is player of the game on offense, Monster Midway, which is player of the game on defense, and usually if it's deserved, I'll throw out a couple honorable mentions, which there will be a couple of those here today. Looking over at the offensive side of the ball, we are going to give the Monster Midway to Brandon Marshall. Comes out banged up, questionable game time decision, comes out 5 receptions, 48 yards, 3 touchdowns, huge for us. Gonna give an honorable mention to Jay Cutler. He didn't have a great game, not a flashy game, but like I said, he was playing with 2 banged up wide receivers, and he's gonna get an honorable mention. Basically, he 23 of 34, 176, 4 touchdowns, no picks. That's well enough deserved for an honorable mention. Not to mention the fact after taking that shot to the ribs with the crown of the helmet, hopefully that guy gets a hefty fine for that, because that was a cheap shot. But even after taking that shot, he pulled himself back up. Took him a couple minutes to do so, but understandably so. Finished the drive for a touchdown on that one and led us to help lead us to victory. Also going to throw out an honorable mention to the offensive line. Playing with 2 starters out, Slauson and Garza. Ola and Ferguson stepped up, or Ola and De La Puente stepped up again in the backup role along with our other 3 starters. Along with our other 2 starters. Played well. Cutler only got sacked 1 time. You can't really You can't really complain about that. He's only been sacked 3 times on the season. Offensive line playing great, which is basically how it was last year. Move over to my Monster Midway segment on defense. This one's an easy one to go and throw out there. It's going to go to rookie corner Kyle Fuller. 2 huge picks, leading our offense to get the go-ahead touchdown, and then add 7 more points to make it 28-20. And after that, we were able to shut the door. I'm going to throw out an honorable mention to a player that actually won my Monster of the Midway in Week 1 on defense, Willie Young. Another big game, 4 tackles, 2 sacks, showing us exactly why the Bears went out and got him in the offseason, along with Lamar Houston and Jared Allen. He's been a presence so far in the first 2 games, and I don't see him slowing down yet. So that's going to conclude this week. It's going to be Monday Night Football next week against the Jets. So probably still try to have my pregame game preview of that game up by Friday evening. Even though it's a Monday night game, still try to have it up by Friday evening sometime. We're 1-1. We got to 1-1, tied with everybody in the division. Everybody in the division's 1-1. So until Friday, when I do my game preview, go Bears, bear down.